All right, what's up, everyone? So we're going to go over the throwing workload monitoring form here. So to start here, um, all the data that you're going to input is going to go into the white cells. All the gray cells are going to be auto-populated. And then we're going to head to the weighting factors here. So we have all the different ball weights here between 5 ounce, 7.5 ounce, 16 ounce. If you have someone throwing a football, it's also going to be right around that 16 ounce mark. And also the 32 ounces have the associated weighting factors for the balls there. Also, we have the same thing with our RPE from 1 to 10 there and the associated weighting factors there. And lastly, we have distance and their associated weighting factors. Um, for this individual or for this example here, this max distance is going to be 300 feet. So if you have someone who can only throw, let's say 250 feet, we can scale these appropriately. So you could put 250 here and then have 10 appropriate distances or 10 appropriate sort of intervals there. Same thing when it comes to inputting the distance, just putting the appropriate weighting factor there. We also have the total stress tracker here. So not only we're going to have the total stress start to pop up here as we start accumulating more days, we'll also get a nice sort of like line chart here of the weekly total stress as well. So we can start here by phase one here. Let's say we're going to have 10 throws at 32 ounces there. Let's say we're going to have 10 throws at 16 ounces there. And then we can head over and put in our weighting factors here. So we'll have 0.57 and 0.31. And let's say we're starting at RPE of 3 here for both of these throws. So we can go back to the weighting factors, RPE 3. So put in a 0.578 there. And then you're going to see we're going to get a stress number for the 10 throws at 32 ounces and the 10 throws at 16 ounces. And then we're going to get a total stress number for that session there. And then when we head back to the stress tracker total, we're going to see that 5.8 number pop up there. And we're going to see that number pop up there as well. And then there. So now we can go to phase or day two here of that same week. So let's say we go 10 and let's say we go 20 here. And we'll still use the 32 ounce and the 16 ounce here. So we can just copy and paste that there. And let's say we're going to go to RPE 4 for the 32 ounce, but let's say we're sticking RPE 3 for the 16 ounce there. We'll move this one down and then we'll look to see what RPE 4 is. So 0.671. We'll move that over there. And now we're going to get a total stress for day two there. And then same thing, we can go back to here and we can see day one stress, day two stress. And then we're going to see same thing here as well, that our stress will continue to increase the more we go here. So essentially with each day, you can continue to fill out the number of throws, the weight that you're using for, or the ball, the weight of the ball, the associated weighting factors for that and RPE, and continue to kind of build out that throwing stress. And then in total, there's going to be a total of 84 throwing days included in here. So quite a few days that you can use to, kind of build out that throwing program there and be able to kind of objectively track stress over time. If you see any sort of huge big spikes, you can kind of track that. If you want to kind of plan out what you have in mind for the throwing session for that day, you can do that preemptively and kind of see where that sort of daily strain or stress falls for that session there. So hopefully you guys found this helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out.